Hi Shashank, nice to kind of catch up with you. How are you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for having me, Roshan.
It's a pleasure. I wanted to actually get started by asking you that the space that you are actually working in as Zeta, there have been a lot of players in the market for enormous number of years, whether you look at it as Fiserv or the others. Tell us a bit more about what Zeta is all about.
Sure. Happy to. So I think you've queued this up perfectly, Roshan. I think the thesis with which Zeta has been founded is really around bringing card issuers, around bringing financial institutions the power to bring digital experiences that will completely wow their customers. That's been the genesis of our organization, and we've been doing that across almost the last decade now. We're sort of 9 years in this journey, and I think one of the you can call it a dirty little secret in the BFSI space is that there is so much interesting stuff that is happening. For example, AI is everywhere at the show, right? I mean, everybody's talking about it. But when you go down and you see sort of what is happening with these core systems that are actually processing cards or processing payments, many of them are still stuck in a place where they were 30 or 40 years ago. And I think that's done is reduce the ability for a lot of financial institutions to build these amazing new experiences that their clients are demanding. And so again, if you see over the last maybe 5 to 7 years, the growth of some phenomenal examples, not just here in the US, but in other markets as well, New Bank in Brazil, or Revolut, or WeBank in China, and various other digital native banks. What they have been truly and really able to create is all because their technology stacks are modern and then allow them to build these experiences and launch and iterate rapidly. And I think that's our charter, that's our brief. We are bringing those types of technology solutions to issuers now across the globe.
And is it fair to actually say that the time to market in propositions that you're actually bringing out is much faster because in the solutions that actually reside today, there's a bit of actually inflexibility or rigidity in terms of the technical debt which is actually there. Is that actually right to say?
I think you're being kind in describing them as a little bit of rigidity. I think the truth is that we are talking to issuers all the time who are literally talking about the fact that a simple change is will take them 6 months, 9 months, or cases where their processors are not returning phone calls or not providing them access to data about their card programs. So I think the problem is much deeper than that from our perspective. And again, I mean, I don't want to get into speculation on why that is the status quo, but the fundamental reason that the systems are not able to truly deliver, like for example, let's take data as an example, right? Today, to build a new type of a card experience or a digital banking experience, you need access to real-time APIs that allow you to manipulate different objects. You require event streams that allow you to sort of pull events running through your system. And if you don't have that, then you'll never build the kind of responsive, delightful application. And so I think a system that was built 30 or 40 years ago that is still running on COBOL or mainframes, you can hollow out the cores, right? And you can start building API layers on top of that, and that will take you maybe some part of the way there, but it's not going to really deliver the kind of change that you're seeing with some of these digital challenger banks or some of the new age card programs.
So in many ways, if I actually just visualize what you're saying, clients can actually kind of still hold on to their existing systems, maybe look at actually the new business avenues that they have, launch a parallel kind of a system with the likes of Zeta.
Yeah.
Make sure that it is well tested, it is actually delivering its results, and then move from the, if I can use the word legacy, into the new age solution. Is that also the approach that you're seeing taken by clients?
It is, and see, there are probably multiple thousands of card programs in existence in the US today. And all that is really differentiating them is, perhaps the color of the plastic, the APR percentage, and the name on top of. And I'll talk about what we are calling. These are Gen 1 cards, right? A Gen 2 card is a piece of plastic with, sure, a digital, app which allows you some sort of basic controls, etc. But I think the future belongs to Gen 3 cards, which are truly and really hyper-personalized in how they treat you, how they treat me, and which are providing these, delightful new experiences that can be customized in real time, that can be customized to every single transaction, that can be customized for individual user segments, that can be, customized for, ethnic segments. And again, you're seeing fintechs and, neobanks really starting to do that very successfully. So the model that we are working, with is, we work both with issuers who want to launch de novo programs. So there are, certain issuers out there who don't have, credit programs today, and so we certainly, will go to them and tell them, hey, look, today in 2024, there is no reason for you to be looking at legacy. You have an option to choose a true modern processor that will allow you to launch quickly, innovate rapidly, build experiences that make sense. And then the other example that you were talking about is sort of, folks who have, a significant presence already. And we absolutely acknowledge that, these transitions, these conversions are, fairly fraught with risk and complexity. And so we have absolutely found success in multiple markets in launching a sidecar program that we would, for example, run and manage in its entirety or close to its entirety with, the bank taking on certain important responsibilities. And the ability, or rather the speed with which we are able to get that program, like one of our clients, we launched in 8 months. Which again is unprecedented, if you look at the launch of a card program, and they're doing really well and growing very rapidly, and so again that's in the de novo space. And if you go and look at the space where you have a card program, we're also working with some issuers. For example, in India we work. We can then have conversations around what to do with the back book or where we want to go. So
it's great to actually just to summarize what you're saying. You could actually kind of have the solution that runs for issuers who actually kind of don't have anything, want to start off fresh, and that's actually kind of a really quick, clean start.
Right.
And if you want actually kind of to move from your existing legacy, you could actually set up in issuers that have systems, a parallel system,
Correct.
make it actually
Correct.
run up to the speed that it needs to deliver, right, and then start moving. So that's great.
Yeah.
If I look at it actually from the perspective of a tech service provider like TechM, what is the role that you feel we could actually provide in, right, this entire ecosystem which is transforming itself?
Yeah. So I think one thing that it's been gratifying to hear, with sort of folks like yourself and many others, is that I think there is a lot of evangelizing of the solutions and the benefits that needs to happen. I think we have to collectively work to inform issuers of the possibilities and what you can truly and really create with these programs. So I think that's certainly one important role that I would say TechM has, and many of your other industry peers have. And I think card processing, unfortunately, is one of those last sort of frontiers in some senses. We've seen some changes come in other core banking platforms, but we are certainly very hopeful that with sort of the support and at fora like this, where we're talking about modernization, we're talking about change, we're talking about what to build. And I think a lot of these newer platforms are API first. They expose a lot of room for partners like TechM to come in and help innovate and create experiences that will make sense for those banks.
I think I tend to agree, because we have delivered a lot of transformation programs. We understand the nuances and the challenges behind it. We have superior kind of capabilities on the digital aspect, which is also something which is important, along with the integration aspect. So all of that, along with in the perspective of TechM, there's a lot of core product digital engineering capabilities which are actually there, which also helps in this kind of a journey. So,
Right.
so I think we can definitely play a good part in terms of making these initiatives successful, both on the technology side as well as on the implementation side.
Right.
If I quickly move on to a futuristic lens,
Yeah.
you are talking about the movement into Gen 3 kind of play. With AI, Gen AI, all coming into play, and you have been running Zeta for maybe about 9 years, and you've seen still an evolution in this space. How do you see it going forward in the next 10 years? Is it going to be more disruptive with technology disrupting, with business models getting kind of changed? And how do you actually want to keep Zeta abreast in terms of how things are transforming?
Yeah, a lot of directions I can go. I'll try and thread the needle a little bit through some of those elements, Roshan. So, I think first up at Zeta, our charter is actually beyond cards. Cards is certainly the is sort of our current tip of the spear. That's really where we're focusing a lot of our time and our attention. Certainly here in North America. And we believe it is cards, and especially credit cards, are highly complex product, require a lot of wherewithal. We've made some significant investments in bringing these products to bear, and there is a lot for us to build and showcase and demonstrate within that space. So in fact, there are various AI use cases, some that we'll be announcing pretty soon around specific AIs that are built for card issuers. So banking grade sort of capabilities that we will be announcing soon. So that's certainly one, I would say, stream of work that will continue to happen. So our CEO actually did a keynote earlier this year where he spoke about the two AIs that we feel are really going to make a massive difference in the banking space. One being conversational AI, which will really transform the way customers are engaging with their financial products. And then the other is decisioning AI, because there's so many decisions that you're making, and a lot of those optimizations over time will be taken on by agents and AI. So I think there is a lot of activity that's happening in that space. But given the amount of regulation in this industry, obviously one has to move slowly. I think the other thing that we are seeing is hyper-personalization of experiences, not just down to, let's say, the individual level, but down to the transaction level, right? Literally down to the time of day. So why should you, not when you walk into, make a purchase on the day of your birthday, why shouldn't we waive your APR off, for example, right? I mean, just think about the kind of delight that would create. But to run that sort of or build a sort of a product like that, you really require access to those sort of levers that you can use to customize. So I think that is a source of tremendous delight. And I think many other industries have shown that you can truly deliver hyper-personalization at scale. And we're excited to sort of bring some of those elements to bear.
Absolutely. I look forward for the hyper-personalization to get benefits for me personally.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But fascinating conversation. Thanks for actually kind of sharing your views, and wishing you and Zeta a lot of success in the years to come.
Thank you so much, Roshan. Appreciate and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.